Hey, what's up? Welcome to the tailgate debate. I'm Anthony. I'm here with Zach, and Jamie is out. Our guest today is Scott, aka Anakin, aka Lord
Skeet.
Vader, aka Melonhead. All right, so let's start. Zach, give us a recap. What did we do with our numbers last week? Our game, our picks.
You and I got 4. Jamie got 7.
Yeah. Okay. So let's start with Tennessee and get that out of the way. You guys want me to go first, or you want to go first?
I mean, what's the fucking say? Playoffs on the line. We gave up 60 points. Our defensive coordinator went to bed. Fuck them.
Yeah, I probably get a little more analytical, I think, than that. But
I mean, what's to analyze? We made fucking Rattler look like a Heisman candidate.
yeah, we did.
My
We did.
biggest thing that I took from that game is that, and I told Zach this multiple times last night, they went 5 for 5 in the first half with touchdowns.
Yep.
And I want to say we may have blitzed, what, once, twice, maybe 3 times. The whole season, and that's the reason we've been in these games, is that we live or die by the blitz. We always bring in extra man. If they beat us, they beat us. So be it. I don't know. He started playing soft. They were beating it. And one thing I didn't understand why we never adjusted, and maybe we did in the second half. I didn't watch too much of the second half after Hooker got hurt. They were running that wildcat with the one quarterback, and they were beating us to the edge every time. We never had anyone contained. I once or twice to start, okay, they catch you off guard because I didn't expect them to do that. But you have to have some sort of play to contain that quarterback inside the pocket. And we never adjusted, not once throughout the entire game.
Yeah. Yeah. So let me. I got a couple minutes worth of shit to say here. So I agree 100%. I don't think we adjusted all season. All season, I felt like the red flag was that I didn't feel like we would made halftime adjustments that we needed to make. We either blew the doors off teams coming out, or the two games where we didn't, we got dominated. And I didn't see any adjustments. I didn't see him in the Georgia game. I didn't see him in this game. So there's some red flags there. The different defensive coordinator, I think, most certainly a loss to South Carolina is a bummer. 63 points to a team that absolutely sucks is fireable. Somebody has to go.
I think a
So
loss to South Carolina with the offense they have this year is fireable. We're
That's
expecting to
what
win
he
that.
said.
No, he said a loss is a bummer. Scoring that much is fireable. I'm saying a loss is fireable.
yeah, see,
No,
and that's where I'm not. This is where I have a slightly different perspective because I was super pissed about the game. I was super bummed last night. But I think just at the end of the day, and this is my honest take. I said about 6 weeks ago, after we beat Florida, or maybe it was after the LSU game, I said what was so impressive with what we were doing was that we didn't have the personnel of the other teams, the other top level teams. And I think that's what showed up yesterday. I think to get through the grind of a full season with the personnel that we have, I think we actually did awesome to have the season that we've had and have some of the highs that we've had. And I think the lack of depth and just not having those high level athletes caught up to us yesterday, and we got outcoached in a major way. So I think it was just a culmination of things I think that hit us yesterday. So I don't think that losing is a fireable offense. South Carolina sucks. I'm not. We should have won the game, but what's fireable is that you let a just completely dysfunctional offense hang 63 on you, and we put up no resistance.
no, I want to
So,
clarify something. We're talking
yeah,
about firing a coordinator, just so everyone's understanding. Not
defensive
nothing.
coordinator.
Yeah.
No,
No, I'm
no,
saying
no.
is like because we just said fireable offense. Heupel is way ahead of schedule with this team,
Yeah,
considering what you have to take a step back and look at what he
yeah,
inherited.
yeah. So well, you're dipping into what I'm good. I mean, I'm not. I'm saying we're agreeing, but
Right,
that's
right.
actually where I'm at with it. Is I think what Heupel did really should be commended. And while it feels bitter today because it just happened yesterday, what he's done this season has been incredible. To watch us beat Alabama, to watch us beat Florida, to go into LSU and stomp those guys. I think what we've done this season is pretty incredible. And I think when it's all said and done, it will be a win. in terms of where we're at for our program. But this was a bad this loss yesterday. Somebody has to stand accountable for
Oh, 100%.
the manner in which we lost. So
Yeah, and I
that's
don't
what,
think you can say the grind of the season matters or talent or whatever when we're playing fucking South Carolina.
it
Their
does.
their quarterback is averaging 150 yards a game. Their offense is averaging like 15 points a game.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and we've been ineffective on defense all year, and it smacked us yesterday. We've been able to conceal it all year, and it caught up to us in the Georgia game, and then we got hit hard with it yesterday.
and to me that is what is fireable is the trend. Florida scored the most points. They've scored. We made Richardson had like 500 yards. Missouri, their quarterback had 100 yards rushing. They scored 24. They had like 400 yards of offense. Kentucky, we shut down. South Carolina went fucking crazy. At the end of the day, it's a pattern. Like, you don't get to use talent as an excuse for teams that you're more talented than or as talented than.
There is no excuse. I'm not making any excuse. I'm taking a positive perspective on this. I think that I don't think we have the same talent as other people. We have more talent than South Carolina for sure.
Yeah, 100%.
But I don't think that we have the talent of the Georgias, the Bamas, and I don't agree with you at all. I think the grind matters. And I do agree with the trend. I think we all agree with the trend. And that's why we're all sitting here saying the defensive coordinator has to go. Not only has he not made in-game adjustments, he hasn't made adjustments throughout the course of the season. Our offense has concealed how bad our defense is because we put so much pressure on people scoring points that we changed the way they play and we've been able to capitalize. But when the team has kept us in check and slowed us down a little bit, those couple games, we've looked terrible.
I wouldn't even say it's just our offense. I would say our defensive line has played well and above beyond what I expected. And they've masked a ton for our secondary. Meaning, like, the time that we don't get pressure on the quarterback, our secondary, it looks like nobody's even playing back there.
Yes, exactly.
Every single time there's a guy wide open, all by himself, busted coverage. I don't even know if we have four DBs on the field.
Yeah.
I will say our defensive line, because if you watch the run game, we stopped outside of the South Carolina game when they were getting on the edge. I was getting a little annoyed. That's where you have to make adjustments from a defensive coordinator standpoint to stop that. But overall, even against Georgia, it's not like Georgia was gashing us for 20-yard runs left and right. We made Stetson Bennett, who ended up beating us pretty good. We made every quarterback look good because every quarterback had to beat us. So I wouldn't say it's the entire defense. I would say and I will say there's one thing that we were missing last night, and I think we took for granted. And it's because we didn't like him at first. Jeremy Banks wasn't playing last night, just in case you guys didn't notice. He was out, and he's the captain of the defense. He's the one that makes all the calls and everything from the middle linebacker position. Is he the best player ever? No. But that may have been why we were out of position 90% of the time the entire game last night. I'm not saying the defensive coordinator has to take responsibility for that because eventually he's got to do something. Your starter's not going to be in. Somebody else has to step up, and you have to name that person. You can't just let the team do it. That's your job as a defensive coordinator.
I've never seen a team drop 7 and have no one covered as much as we had this season.
You have
a 4-man rush. You have to fucking keep everything at 5 yards or shorter. We cover no one.
When I was watching the game last night, that's exactly what I told Kelly. I said, I don't understand if we're only rushing 3 or 4, because there was a couple times when we rushed 3 and the end actually dropped off. And I'm like, I don't understand how we're rushing 3 and they just completed a 3rd and 20 and there wasn't a defender on the screen. There was no defender on the screen. I'm like, how is this? Where do our guys on a lunch break or what? Like, what the fuck is it? Was
what was even worse about that is that the previous play, I think it was like 2nd and maybe 12 or something. We had like a 7-yard or 8-yard sack. Because we blitzed. We brought 5 or 6 and we blitzed. So on 3rd and 20, we said, okay, fuck it. We're just going to sit back.
Yep. Bizarre.
It's fine. It's fine to drop 8 and give them an 8-yard pass. You have to give them an 8-yard pass, not a fucking 30-yard pass.
Yeah, that's just, I don't understand. But even then, like, I'm okay if you blitz there, that quarterback has to get rid of the ball before their players are even 6-7 yards down the field. So you know he's not going to catch it at the 20-yard line to gain. So you have time to keep him in front with all your DBs that are back there. I don't even understand. I can't. I mean, they're getting paid millions of dollars, and we're sitting here talking about it. And this is just that's like coaching 101 right there.
Yeah. I look, as frustrating as it was, I went to bed, and every time Tennessee loses, it always bothers me when I'm sleeping. I guess because I'm a loser. I don't know. But it always bothers me when I'm sleeping. I don't sleep that well, and I dream about it and all that shit. But when I woke up today, I'm like, I'm done with it. I'm moving on. We've had a phenomenal season. We're not supposed to be good this year. I'm trying to keep that in perspective. It is awesome that we're in the playoff discussion. I do think, I mean, it does feel like a blown opportunity. But at the end of the day, if somebody said before the season started, hey, you're going to finish 9-3, we would have said that's better than where we were last year, and we're moving in the right direction. And so we really kind of backdoored ourselves to get to what I think will probably be 9-3. I don't know if we'll beat Vanderbilt. They just beat Florida. They just beat Kentucky, and we're not going to have a quarterback next week.
And it's going to be a night game too. Again, of course, like the last 2 games are night games for the.
Well, I don't think that should matter. I mean, these teams are so
it
bad.
Shouldn't.
These really should have walks. So the night game thing doesn't bother me. And I actually I was glad that South Carolina was a night game, because I think they have a pretty cool environment at night and a good crowd. And I'm like, all right, it should be a good game. I mean, I'm all about it. You got to take care of business, and we didn't.
I agree with that. I meant like though, like the LSU game. I think we were very fortunate. It was an 11 a.m. game for their local time. It was 11 a.m. on the kickoff.
Yeah.
And but I'm saying we punched them in the mouth early and took that entire crowd out of it. And I thought we were going to do the same last night with they scored. Okay, they went down. They scored on their drive, and then we immediately responded in about a minute. The crowd went silent.
Yep.
And I thought we were going to be doing okay, because we I think it was like South Carolina got the ball, and then they got a penalty, and it was 1st and 15, and I was like, okay, we're getting pressure, and then the very next play they hit a 60-yard bomb, and it was off to the races for them after that.
Yeah, I mean, Shane Beamer signed a lifelong contract for as big a beatdown as he can get from Josh Heupel. There's no doubt. I mean, he had the starters in the last couple minutes. Got no issue with it, not complaining about it. But boy, I know Heupel's gonna have a field day on his ass when we get the recruits in there and they get into Neyland next year.
Oh my God.
We will absolutely beat the dog shit out of them. So I mean, that's what he signed on for. That's fine, and that's what we did with Missouri. I'm sure that Peter Dinklage or Ian Dinkleberry or whatever his fucking name is, I'm sure he'll be looking to do the same thing to us. So I do think the league is going to become much more cutthroat with guys like Kiffin and Heupel and now Beamer and Dinkleberry. I do think that they'll be looking to. I think it's gonna be a lot more like the '90s with the Spurriers and some of these guys that just said, "Hey, we're gonna fucking score 100 on you if we can, so you better do something." And I don't have a problem with that. It's fine. That's I had no problem with that last night with him leaving the starters in. But I'm like, okay, if this is what you signed on for, let's do it. I mean, fuck it.
Although in our case with Missouri, we didn't leave the starters in. That was just our backup.
I know, but I mean, how you do it?
We were throwing. Yeah, I was say we were still throwing. Fuck it.
Yeah. I'm just saying he signed on for something in the future and he'll get it. And that's okay. That's a different thing. So I think all in all, my takeaway, and I'm just not gonna not celebrate some of the highs that we've had this season. We've had better highs than we've had in 15 years. And but the bottom line is that Heupel's still got work to do. And that's all. That's all the message was yesterday is we got work to do. We're not there. And it was humbling. And that's all there is to it.
The only thing that I'm kind of happy about is that he's got a quarterback that he wants committed. That guy's coming in next year. It's not like there's going to be a little bit of, that's what I think people are going to have to be aware of next year is that we may have a bit of a drop off. You can't expect 10-2.
We absolutely will.
100%.
You cannot expect 10-2. Now,
100%.
if he does have some defensive recruits coming in, but they're going to be young, so. You got to take the growing pains as they come.
Yeah,
I mean, you can't expect us. You can't expect us to go into Florida, go into Bama, and come out unscathed.
Yeah, exactly.
No, not with freshman quarterbacks and the loss of all the seniors we have right now. No, next year. I think everybody knows that next year is going to be a step back year. The year after that, I think is when
you got to show. That's when your recruits are there and you've got your system in place.
Yeah,
everybody knows it.
Yep. I mean, if you look at the team that we have, and I don't believe in excuses. Like, I'm not going to talk about, I mean, the officiating I watched yesterday and all that. I watched the Michigan game, TCU, Ohio State, Tennessee. I watched all those games. The officiating across college football is atrocious. Across the board, it's atrocious. And the thing I will say is that in the other games that I watched, the bad calls, man, really came at critical moments. And I really felt like they were game changers. In our game, they were atrocious calls, but we got our ass whipped. And so you just can't really.
Well, they
you
were
can't-
also against us. I mean,
I know,
third
I know.
third and 12 penalty. That was the whole fucking game. But I also wanted to give a shout out to our piece of shit fans.
Well, hold on. Before you get there, I just want to say that in terms of the officiating, like, I'm just not about like complaining the officials, but I did want to acknowledge that because you were talking about last night. I just want to acknowledge openly that in college football, they got to get it cleaned up. It's when I was watching the Michigan game, I was literally sitting here saying they need to investigate this. Like, this officiating is so bad, it should be investigated. And I'm not a Michigan fan. I hate Michigan. The whole Big Ten, I don't give a fuck about, but I'm like, this is brutal. And so I just want to acknowledge how bad the officiating was. But in terms of Tennessee, we've had a good season. So Zach, go ahead with the fans.
So my wife went to the game last night. Before the game, a Tennessee fan in her section at South Carolina poured a soda on a South Carolina fan, made him move. Apparently, she was older than my wife's mother, who's 64. So we got 70-year-old fans pouring sodas. And a group of presumably grown men tried to pick a fight with her family, which is her mother and her two brothers. Drunk as shit, trying to pick a fight with them in the first quarter. So that's disgraceful behavior from our own fan base.
Yeah,
I mean, mustard bottles aside.
No, they got to get this cleaned up. This Tennessee thing with throwing trash and all this nonsense, this stuff has to be cleaned up. They got to get these fans in control. And it started to happen last night at the South Carolina game.
Yeah,
They started throwing shit on the field. So it looks like this has become contagious in the SEC. Like, all of a sudden, the more trashy you are, the better a fan you are. It's ridiculous. They got to get this shit cleaned up. I don't like it at all.
I don't either.
Trendsetters.
Yeah, we're trendsetters.
I don't either. And I don't want to go too much on the officiating, but as far as what you were saying earlier, the officiating with bad calls always went for the higher seed in the other games. For us, it was a shit show.
Yeah, I don't care. I'm just not.
I mean, it doesn't matter, but I'm just saying.
I was just saying, last night with how bad we got our ass whooped, it wasn't going to change.
No, it didn't matter. It didn't matter. But as far as TCU, Michigan, they're getting the benefit of the doubt.
Well, TCU Baylor was a little bit. I don't know. There was some stuff that I'm just like, I don't. They would bring in an analyst, and even the analyst was saying, "Is like, I don't know what they're seeing here."
Yeah, it was bad, man. I'm telling you, the officiating, and I'm not talking about our game or the outcomes, but the officiating in general it's a terrible. I don't know if it's because there's so many games that they just don't have enough quality officials or what the deal is, but they got to get this shit fixed. It's terrible.
What are you, Italian?
What?
You were like, it's a terrible.
I think I was going to say it's a bad situation, but then I said it's a terrible.
Yeah, I agree. The officiating has been an issue all year, which is insane. I mean, these dudes are making six figures, right? Like
the refs?
Yeah.
No.
I was gonna say, I feel like they're volunteers almost.
No.
I know they're not. I know they're not.
No,
NFL refs make like 150 at least.
No.
Yes.
Oh, like, I guess if they're full-time salary, they do.
Yeah.
No. NFL, no, these guys all have jobs. Like the college refs, I think Kelly and I looked it up a couple years ago. They only make like maybe $1,000, $2,000 a game. It's not much. And they're not full-time officials. They all have jobs.
Okay, well, they're getting $300 an hour. Make the right fucking call.
I'm not defending them based on what they make. I'm saying that they got to get it fixed and get better people.
Yeah, it's been nonstop this year. I've seen so many calls where I was like, wow, that's the call he made, even after replay.
Yeah, there was some bad ones. There was an incomplete. I don't remember what game it was, and they literally reviewed it and called it a completion. And you could see
it was Ohio State.
Yeah, it just
Ohio State, man, the ball bounced off the ground. They said the play stands.
Yeah, brutal.
That was the one. Yeah. I remember.
And stop the clock.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. So Jamie, we're just kind of finishing up talking about the Tennessee game. So you're coming at the tail end of it. Our take basically Tennessee, we got fucked up. That's all there is to it. Ain't no point going back into it. You can hear it like when you listen back. Did you watch the game? Do you have any thoughts before we wrap up on that?
I just caught the beginning of it, and like South Carolina just looked like they were playing out of their minds, and you guys looked a little discombobulated on offense a couple times, and then your defense just they were.
Terrible.
They could have put out cones, 11 fucking cones, and they would have been better.
So, and I know you guys talked about it, but like that was a huge blow to your guys' season. Like, where are you guys at?
There's nothing to say. I mean, we were talking about playoffs, and now we're talking about bullshit.
Nah, I'll tell you I'm still keeping a positive take on it. We've had a good season. Finally knocked off Alabama, beat Florida. We've had some good highs to this season, so I'm keeping it positive. We still got work to do. Yesterday was a reminder that we're not where we need to be. That's where I'm at with it. They gave us a message, and also, they set up a challenge for years to come between Hypo and Beamer, and that's where I'm at with it. We're if we finish 8-4, which I think is probably what we're going to finish. It's disappointing considering where we were, but considering what we did last year, we're moving in the right direction. Got to get the recruits in. Got to keep going.
Are we 9-2?
We're 9-2 with Vandy coming up with Joe Milton. Joe Milton, I think has the ability to lose to anybody.
All right, well, 8-4 seems unreasonable then.
Oh, I got you now. Yeah.
He's like, I'm being super positive. I'm gonna just give us 2 extra losses
and a negative win.
Take a win.
Listen, this season's over. This season's over, and I'm going to tell you guys why I'm talking about in the past tense. As soon as we get to our picks, I'll go into exactly where my mindset is with the whole thing. I'm not saying it's over. Like I'm going to stop watching. I'm still going to enjoy the last couple games. We got fucked up yesterday, but it is what it is. It happens, and I'm going to enjoy the last couple games. But in terms of the season, everything now is about getting ready for next year. This season's done. That's my take, but we'll get into that when we do our picks.
Like, I want to ask, like, how surprised were you guys with the game? And like, I know you guys were only down by like what, 11 at half?
11 and a half, and we cut it to 4 in the third quarter.
So you guys were probably like saying, all right, we had a rough first half. We can still win the game.
That's exactly what I said, like verbatim.
Right.
I felt like if we could get the lead, we would start to pour it on, but
just because
our defense, do you guys know that the biggest score in college football history is when Georgia Tech beat some team like 222-0, but it was the team that had picked up like railroad workers and stuff like that. Like, I think that's what our defense was last night. I don't think our guys really traveled. I think they got to the stadium and it was like, anybody here want to fucking suit up and play defense? Because they were nowhere. I'm like, these dudes, I don't even recognize the names.
Yeah, I stopped watching at halftime just because of everything I have going on. But my thoughts were, all right, Tennessee weathered the storm. South Carolina played out of their minds. There's no way they keep that up for the whole game. And
That's exactly what I said.
And I guess
they came out, cut it to 4, and I was like, okay, let's get a stop and we're good. And instead they poured on fucking 30 more.
Yeah.
That's insane. You guys make mediocre quarterbacks look awesome.
Yeah, we already said that. We said that we made every quarterback this year look like a Heisman candidate.
The only one that you guys really like made look bad was the LSU quarterback.
Yeah, that's because he is bad.
Yeah, he is bad, but he's been playing better since that.
Yeah, let me tell you guys. So listen, I love Tennessee football, man. I was really bummed yesterday, but I'm gonna watch the last couple games. I'm gonna enjoy them, and that's just the way it is. We got fucked up. So what? You guys want anything else on any of the games you guys want to cover?
You guys.
I was gonna say Jamie had a good weekend. He had a baby and a 45-0 win.
Yeah. I didn't see Notre Dame's game, Jamie. What happened? I saw you guys blow them out.
Yeah, we played really good. Our offense actually played offense. The coaching calls were good. The players were executing. Boston College is awful. They're terrible. And I don't know if you guys seen it, but like there was a blizzard during the game. It was insane. Like
I did see it.
You couldn't even see the game. Like it was crazy. And they did like a 2 different like photos side by side, and in like a 5-minute span of game time, the field went from no snow to covered. It was insane.
Yeah.
But yeah, the
I
team looked
totally
good.
miss that. Huh?
The team looked good. And Boston College, they had a backup true freshman quarterback, and he just loved giving the ball to us, throwing picks and fumbling the ball, and he just couldn't figure shit out. And then we have a
There's
freshman corner. He had 2 interceptions last week. One was a pick 6, and he had 3 interceptions yesterday. So bright spot for the defense.
I think you guys' defensive line is good, just in general. But
Yeah, Isaiah Foskey is our best defensive lineman. He's a pass rusher. He broke the sack record yesterday too. So yesterday was a really good day for us. And then we're also trending towards picking up a 4-star quarterback for the 23 class. So a lot of good stuff for us.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I was Kelly and I were talking about your game because we were going through the scores to grading picks. And she said something about how many points you guys scored. And I said, yeah, I said that I mean, they played good, but Boston College sucks. But that's how you're supposed to beat a sucky team. Like South Carolina sucks too. So that's what you're supposed to do. But
And
that's
like-
good. So what are you thinking about? Well, we'll get into the picks for next week because I know you guys got USC coming up.
Well, I also want to say, like, as hard as I've been on our offense, and like we watch the games and we see it, like our offense is not good. But I think we have like 7 or 8 games straight where we scored 35 or more points. And I'm like, I don't even remember, like, when is this happening? I know we're playing not so great teams, but like every time I watch our game, I'm like so frustrated with our offense. But if you're scoring 35 points a game, like I'm not saying that's great, but it's not terrible. It's like middle of the road, right?
well, I think it's great. And you guys are getting a lot of defensive touchdowns too in special teams. So your offense isn't putting up 35 a game.
That's a
Your
good
team is.
That's a good point.
Yeah. Yeah, still some good things. So let me, I didn't see any of the Notre Dame games. So I really can't weigh in. I'm looking forward to the Notre Dame USC game. I'm going to watch that. What time do you guys play?
7. It's
Yeah,
the night game. What time's your guys' game?
We play at 7,
7:30.
7:30.
Prime time, Vandy?
Prime time for Vandy. Yep.
Yeah,
we're probably
we can let their quarterback run for 100
I was
and
gonna say,
500 also.
I think we're underdogs.
No, we're 2 touchdown favorites, and I don't know who came up with that.
That's just
They
way
must
to
have-
pick them.
They must not know that Hooker is probably not going to play.
Hooker's going for the season. And that's
Did
I
they
want
finally
to
confirm it?
Huh?
Did they finally confirm it?
No, I
No,
haven't.
but I mean, the way that his leg buckled and he just grabbed his
No, I
hand.
agree. No, I
Yeah.
agree. I didn't know if they just said, because it's weird that we would come out as 2 touchdown favorites if Milton's the quarterback.
No, I don't think I haven't watched any sports shows. I don't watch shit after we lose
Yeah.
because I just don't want to hear it, especially like that. Because it's all going to be pile on stuff. I just don't have any interest in it. I don't really care. It's just I'm not interested in hearing the pile on stuff. All the haters and all this stuff. I don't care about those fucking people. I ain't got time for all that. But I think I want to talk about Hooker and why I say that I don't think he'll play. When we get into-
Ravens just took a huge 6-3 lead with 8 minutes left.
Yeah, I'm watching it too. Yeah, they're awesome. So look, the playoffs. What do you think our loss did for the playoff picture? Because I actually have a pretty wild prediction about what I think just happened yesterday.
Well, I think LSU's chances went from none to Georgia and in.
But based on what you know through these many weeks, because we're not going to do an instant reaction to the playoffs, I don't think. And I don't think we want to do that with none of our teams involved.
Absolutely fucking not.
We'll still review them in the second show this week, but I'm not interested in fucking around on Tuesday night. But what do you think so based on today, what you know so far, who's your final 4?
Like, who will be the final 4?
Yeah, who do you think will be the final 4? I can give you mine first if you guys want. Let me give you mine first so you guys don't try to steal my shit.
Don't say you're not gonna put an ACC team in, right?
No,
All
no, it's gonna be Georgia, Michigan. I do think I agree with Zach. Finally, I think Michigan's gonna beat Ohio State. Ohio State is really, really overrated.
Did nobody
gonna
watch
be-
the Michigan?
Huh?
Yeah, I did.
Go ahead.
They both suck.
Hold on. Georgia, Michigan, TCU, and Alabama. That's my final. Alabama just got back into it.
Unless you, yeah, I mean,
So
No,
you're
assuming
banking on
you-
USC losing.
you
then.
losing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. I give mine next?
Go
So
ahead.
I don't think Alabama can get in with the loss to LSU. I have the same ones. I would say Georgia. I would take Ohio State, TCU, and then I think Clemson's going to win the ACC championship and get in,
Oh my God.
which is
that'd be
pathetic.
So brutal.
I think it's going to be Georgia, TCU, Ohio State, and Michigan. I think the loser's in now because the whole thing is a clusterfuck. I think USC is going to lose, and that's it. There's no one left.
The only way that could happen is if Michigan wins in a close game against Ohio State.
I have no respect for the ACC, and the committee clearly doesn't either with the rankings. So I don't think the ACC is even in contention.
Did North Carolina lose to Georgia Tech?
No, they did.
Game?
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
they
were
did.
losing. I didn't see.
Georgia Tech is they took
That
out
basically, that fucked the ACC honestly, because that was Clemson's only hope is to play North Carolina as like a top 11 team and beat them in the title game and get that extra bump for beating the ranked team. I think that's fucked Clemson.
Who's your final four, Scott?
My four is obviously Georgia. TCU has a horseshoe up their ass. They can't lose, so they're gonna end up making it. I don't know if you watched the Michigan game, but when Blake Corum went out with the knee injury, which maybe he'll be back 100%. I don't know. He hyperextended it. He never came back in the second half. They couldn't do a damn thing against Illinois when he went out, and they kicked 3 field goals to end up winning it because Illinois doesn't have an offense.
They had 7 points at that point.
Huh? No, they had they won 19-17, right?
Yeah.
It was
So
10-7.
they had
It was 17-10.
They had
It was
10 points, yeah. Halfway through
10
the
points.
third.
But
Their
I'm saying
offense
they're
is dog shit.
exactly. And when Corum went out, you didn't. I don't know if you watched the game. I had it up the whole time. He was gashing them, but obviously they would try and do a throw, a play or whatever, and it wouldn't. Anyway, Ohio State is going to beat Michigan. That's it. So that's my number 3. And honestly, if I still don't think USC is going to win out, so I don't think it's going to be USC. So it would be between LSU and Bama, and I don't think LSU is going to beat Georgia. So Bama is just sitting there, and the only thing I can think of that it's going to be between Bama and Clemson, because Clemson's going to be the last remaining one-loss team outside of Michigan, but Michigan doesn't have the resume that Alabama does. Doesn't even have the resume that Clemson does. That's how bad Michigan's resume is.
Yeah.
I mean, do you guys think this will be the most boring playoffs so far?
Yes. Listen, if Ohio State, Clemson, and Alabama get in again after this season, they got to go to 12 games next year. They got to go to 12 teams. This is ridiculous.
Well, I mean, even aside from all that, like Georgia is going to stomp any of those fucking teams we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
You would think they struggled against Kentucky.
So we had this question earlier, and it was Georgia or the field. Is anyone on Georgia, or is anyone taking the field? Because I've been on Georgia the whole time.
I'm taking the field.
I'm taking Georgia.
Georgia.
They right now they are head and shoulders above everyone else.
I think they're head and shoulders above, but the problem is there's too many games where they don't look that good. That game yesterday was ugly, and Kentucky sucks. I'm taking the field.
I would say it's a little different. Yeah, I'm not saying they didn't look good. I would say they didn't look interested.
I agree.
See,
Their team is good. No. Listen, whenever that game
the games
got
that Georgia,
close,
the games that Georgia has shown up, they've put it on good teams.
Right.
They have.
But
So,
why wouldn't you show up every game?
They're bored.
because they're 20-year-old kids.
Yeah.
why didn't we show up last night?
Because we suck.
No.
No.
Our defense sucks. Our defense sucks.
I think Georgia is so good that like these games where they come out slow and look uninterested, they're literally just kind of sleepwalking. But like Zach said, the games where they know that they're going to get a good challenge and it's a game they got to be up for, they show up and they blow the doors off.
You'll see when they play LSU in the SEC championship, they're gonna whip their fucking ass.
I was gonna say, if I understand. Go ahead.
I agree with that. Listen, LSU, there's a couple things that I know for sure. Number one, LSU sucks. All right. Number two, South Carolina sucks.
Is there a three?
And number three, we ain't got no fucking defense. LSU sucks, man. They don't belong where they are anymore. I think we played above our heads through this many weeks. I think LSU has done the same thing. And when Georgia gets a hold of them, it'll all be put into perspective. So yeah, LSU is not good. I don't give a fuck what anybody says about them. And SEC is only getting one team in if Alabama doesn't get in. So Zach, I think you're right. I think this might be the year that they finally justify putting 10 teams in. And I do think that's kind of fucked up because they don't play the schedule that the SEC plays. So I would, as much as I don't fucking want Alabama in there again. Fuck that. I'd rather see two. I'm tired of it.
I think it's
Georgia's
gonna be
gonna win anyway.
hilarious. Georgia's gonna beat Ohio State like 45-3.
Yeah.
And then they're gonna stomp on TCU or Michigan the same way.
Well, Ohio State's not going to be fourth. Oh, you're saying if Michigan beats them, yeah.
Yeah, I'm assuming Michigan wins.
Yeah.
Yeah, yesterday.
Scott, you made a good point. If Quorum's out, I agree with you. Michigan has no chance.
That's what I was getting at. If Corum is 100%, all right, it may be a better game. But after watching him go out and watching them try to run the football, it was as Zach loves to say, it was an abortion.
Yeah, I agree. I forgot he went out in the game, to be honest with you.
There wasn't much to praise about that Illinois-Michigan game, but I actually liked Illinois' running back. He was doing the whole thing where he just lets the play develop and then bust it.
Oh, yeah, wait, he was
He
patient.
did it over and over and over. Yeah, he killed him.
Twice, right?
What's the
Do
name?
what?
But he busted two big runs on him.
Yeah, he scored twice.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he was just gashing them like repeatedly.
Yeah.
Just reading the
Yeah.
blocks and then moving.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I do think it's going to be a boring playoff thing. I'm really disinterested in whoever plays now because it's going to be the same old teams. I mean, obviously I wanted our team to go because it's our team, but it was also to start to see some new blood in there and mix it up. TCU is going to go. I mean, TCU is going to get obliterated.
Yeah.
And maybe we would have too. I don't know, but at least it's our team.
TCU is going to get butt fucked by Kansas State, so it doesn't matter.
It didn't look
I
too.
don't think- Huh?
TCU sucks.
No, K-State. K-State didn't look too good yesterday.
They won by 15 or 20.
Yeah, but it wasn't. It was a close game though throughout.
Oklahoma beat the dog shit out of Oklahoma State.
Yeah, that was a crazy one. Oklahoma had 28 first quarter points. Those bitches haven't scored 28 all season.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, yesterday was a weird day. You knew there was going to be an upset with everything that was going on earlier in the day. I just didn't think it'd be us, but it doesn't matter. So the Kansas State played West Virginia, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, West Virginia is also kind of a weird place to play. So I don't think I wouldn't read too much into that. West Virginia always plays pretty tough at home, I think.
What'd you guys think of South Carolina's pregame, like their entrance and all that stuff?
But the bird coming out of the cage I've seen before. It's so dumb.
That was dumb. I didn't understand what we were watching there.
Well, yeah,
I've seen them do it
and they broke
before,
out the 2001
Space
Space
Odyssey.
Odyssey. Yeah,
Yeah,
music.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you're not worthy of that shit. I don't give a fuck if they score 100 on us.
That's
You should
their
never-
intro.
You should never play that. I don't
That's
give a
their
fuck.
intro. That was their intro when Spurrier was there. They would do that music, and then the bird comes out. He's in a cage and he's going crazy, and he opens his beak. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? This is stupid.
Yeah,
This is
and then
stupid.
and then they follow it with techno.
Yeah.
Right. Right. I mean, they get hyped as shit, and so I think it was Herb Street, probably his dumbass. It was like one of the greatest
Yeah, he said it. He said
He
it.
did.
I'm like, yeah, a bird in a cage with some. Shut the fuck up. Shut up.
That's what I was gonna say. Like I thought, like the whole thing I'm watching, I'm like, I did think it was a little weird and strange, but like the way that the fans were responding and the energy was great.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, their crowd was crazy.
I was like,
But
I was
I
thinking,
would say most of their fans are younger, though, right?
Nah, I don't think that's true. I think they're like most of the SEC schools. They got they get their alumni and the older people that come, but they just show the student section going crazy. That's all of that sandstorm techno shit and the bird in the cage. And I remember I remember watching that when Spurrier's there, and I remember thinking, is this for real? Like if this was my team, man, I would switch my rooting interest. I'd be like, I'm fucking moving. I'm gonna root for somebody else. I can't be going crazy over a bird in a cage with the shower curtain coming down.
You know what the next cheesiest thing was us playing third down for what with fucking Butch Jones.
Yeah, yeah, and you know who does that? And I think Michigan was doing it yesterday.
Somebody did it. I had heard it at a different game before.
Oh, it was Maryland.
Was it
It was
Maryland?
Maryland. I think it was Maryland.
Not
So
that it,
Maryland,
not
Huh?
that it matters, but didn't I know this has bothered Zach all year, but didn't you guys go for it on 4th down when you were in field goal range early in the
Listen,
game?
I
It
said
was
the same
4th and
thing.
4.
I said
We
the
all
same
bitched
thing.
about it in a text. Every one of us was like, I don't like that decision. And then we
Yeah.
scored a touchdown, and all of us were like, I don't like that decision.
I said it after. I said you should have taken the points,
got to take the points. I didn't like it
especially
either.
at that point in the game. It was 21-7.
Yep. And if we don't get that, I mean, the way it turns out, it didn't matter. We get our ass whipped anyway. But at that point, it felt like we really needed to stop the bleeding.
Yeah.
So that was a terrible decision.
Especially
The only thing I'll say in defense is that I don't think that was an analytics decision. I think that was a gut call.
Yeah,
Yeah, but-
I agree with that. It was the wrong call. I'm questioning. I'm criticizing.
I agree. No, I
Yeah.
agree. I'm just saying I bitch about the analytics. To me, that was just a game
Bad call.
decision.
What'd you say, Jamie?
I was just saying, like, I agree it wasn't analytics, but I think in that moment, like they're playing out of their minds. You're at their stadium, take some points and kind of ease it down. That's the
Stop
right.
the bleeding. Yeah, that was the whole thing. Is that it was to calm down the crowd. Now I get it. We threw it to Tillman and it was a good catch and everything, but all you takes is if he that one guy, it was within inches of that defender getting a finger on it. That game was over at that point. At least we were still in it.
Bad call.
That 21-10.
Bad decision.
Yeah.
Looks like the Ravens are going to beat the mighty Panthers. It's 12-3. Anyway, nobody gives a shit. So that's it for the playoff predictions. And what about there's always the possibility. I mean, what would make the finishing of the season pretty exciting? Jamie, if Notre Dame goes in there and knocks off USC, and if we're able to go ahead and take care of business against Vanderbilt, we could see you guys in a bowl game. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking is after you guys lost is, we could potentially end up in a bowl game together because
Yeah.
I think we're going to beat USC. I mean, I know we're going to talk about our picks and all that, but I think we're going to beat USC. And I don't think you guys will lose to Vandy. That would be insane.
Listen, let's,
It's a pickup for me. It's a pick 'em right now.
yeah, let's go ahead and get into our picks. Well, I guess we should do filleters of the week. Who's got one? I need to think of one. Anybody got?
I mean,
theirs ready?
I got mine ready. It's Tim Banks, the defensive coordinator for Tennessee.
Okay.
Well, do we want to talk about the other games or not?
What games?
Oh, the TCU game was crazy. The Michigan game was crazy.
No, the TCU game. I do want to talk about how that game ended.
Yeah.
Did you
Go ahead.
see how it ended? Did you see how
Yeah,
it ended?
yeah. It
Yeah,
was a
with,
terrible call by the
run-
coach.
running the football with no timeouts, having to run your field goal unit on.
Yep.
He said the reason he did that is because they practice it every Thursday. There was no reasoning for that because of the play before. I'm pretty sure they ran it twice, or they ran it on first down and maybe.
No.
second.
They threw it on first and then spiked it on second.
Well, I would. Oh, that's right. That's right. So they caught the ball and had to spike it.
Yeah.
If you were going to run the football, you should have. And he said, he just wanted to put it in the middle of the field. That was why he ran it again. That should have been your thought on first down. Run it to the middle of the field and then spike it.
Yeah, I thought it was a horrendous call. So just to recap real quick. So it was third down. They had about 16 or 17 seconds. No timeouts. They run the ball up the middle. And then they have to rush the field goal unit on to kick. And here's the reason I had a major issue with it. It worked out, but I think your kicker's under the gun there instead of just letting him come out there, set up, do his things. I mean, kickers are really kind of they do their ritual thing. They're almost like baseball players.
I would say they're kind of like religious almost.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
superstitious. Very.
Yeah, so you want to let them do their whole setup thing. But anyway, so he buried the kick, but the other thing is you're rushing so much. All it takes is a false start. You're done. There's a 10-second runoff because the clock's running.
It's over.
Game's over. I thought it was absolutely atrocious because there's just too many things that can go wrong. I don't care how many times you practice it. It just takes one guy to budge. Game's over. You don't get another choice, another chance. No timeouts. That was terrible. Jamie, did you see it?
Yeah, I watched it. I thought it was pretty bad too. Just
Yeah.
I don't understand why you would run it. And then like you're
Yeah.
saying, rushing the field goal team on, like Scott, he said that they practice it, but like, I mean, why put your team in that situation?
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, you're asking your kicker with the season on the line to come in no time, bury a kick.
Right.
That's a lot of
Well,
fucking
just say-
pressure.
hey,
Like,
Can we take a timeout from this real quick? I don't mean to interrupt you, Zach. You can finish. I just want to tell you guys, they put up the Ravens remaining schedule. And up until the last game of the season, every single team they play has 3 wins. And the team they play at the end of the season right now has 5 wins.
Yeah, but even the teams that they've beat, they're not very good either. So it's not like they have a great run so far. Like their whole schedule is trash.
yeah,
Well,
I mean,
like,
who cares? At the end of the day, they're going to run through the Bills and Chiefs, and they're going to lose in the playoffs, and everyone's going to say it's not Lamar's fault, and they can get fucked. I don't care.
I'd be curious to ask a Ravens fan like what they think of their team. Because like I know they're winning games, but like they don't look good. To me, they don't look good.
They don't care. All they care about is the win, and they're going to say they're going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, they get to go drink a fucking Natty Bow and watch the game. They don't give a shit.
I like Natty Bell.
I do too. $2 Natty Bows at Looney's.
Let me plug in Looney's name paid us.
I'm reaching for sponsors.
Yeah, you better reach far.
Hey, we
Oh,
get
Zach,
one
I'm saying,
viewer,
I need to
and
see you off.
also
You
he's a
coming-
guest today.
Mac, you were talking about the TCU game. Do you want to finish up on that?
Oh, it's a lot of pressure to put your kicker under. Like a kicker, to me, kickers are made or broken on game winners. So to put your kicker in a situation where he doesn't have time to line up and say, "Hey, the season's on the line. You got 5 seconds. Go fucking get it." That's a bad move. Even if it works out, that's a bad decision. So
I agree. You know what it reminded me of? Watching Les Miles.
Yes. Mhm.
When I saw that team trying to scramble and hurry, I'm like, this is some Les Miles shit right here.
whoa. Les Miles would have thrown it to the end zone.
Les Miles did this exact thing.
Yeah,
and it didn't
he
work out for him.
twice. It happened to him twice.
Yeah, and it didn't work out. He didn't get the kickoff. So
He didn't get any either time.
that's exactly what it reminded me of. But I mean, it is what it is. I mean, it worked out for him. So good. I think TCU is going to make it. I think they're going to make it to the playoff.
I think TCU is going to make it and get demolished in the
It
first
doesn't
round.
matter. It doesn't matter if they go undefeated. They deserve to be there.
Yeah,
And
Well,
I
that's the
agree.
thing. I agree. If they went undefeated, hey, you went undefeated. Your schedule is your schedule for the conference.
Yeah.
If you win
I
it, you should be in it.
I almost think that if they lose once, they should still be in over the Big Ten loser. Ohio State. I heard somebody on TV saying, I don't remember who it was. They said, if you look at the Big Ten and how bad the Big Ten is, TCU has played a much more difficult schedule because they don't have any marquee wins, but they play good games every week. Good teams. If you look at the Big Ten, they play nobody other than Penn State and
Well,
each other.
Here's the thing: is that TCU has wins over 2 top 25 teams now in Texas and Kansas State. Michigan has 0 top 25 wins. 0.
Penn State.
Oh, sorry, they have 1. Their second one will be.
I think
Ohio State.
Illinois was 20 when they beat them, but yeah, they'll
No,
drop out.
Illinois lost last week. They dropped out already.
Oh, did
was
they?
it-
Okay,
it was unranked.
I thought they
It was
dropped to 20. Yeah,
That's why it hurt them, because Illinois lost the week before, dropped out. So now they're no longer in the top 20. So they still only have the 1 Penn State. And they'll only have Ohio State as the other top 25 win. If you look at the other division in the Big Ten, Illinois was leading it at 7-3. Every team except for maybe Nebraska had an opportunity to still win the division over there with 4 losses. That's how bad that division is.
it's a complete clusterfuck.
Do you guys know who's in line to play the winner of Michigan Ohio State in the championship?
Isn't it Purdue?
It's Purdue at 6
Yeah.
and 5.
That's what I said.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
The whole division, because they beat Illinois. Illinois now has another Big Ten loss, so Purdue jumped them.
Yeah,
Illinois
so
was in the driver's seat. They were 7-2. They've
Unbelievable.
lost 2 consecutive weeks and dropped it.
It's crazy. The Big Ten is really, really bad. But it is what it is. All right.
Also,
so
I wanted to mention the Ole Miss Arkansas game. Did you guys see that?
I just saw the score. I didn't even.
No, I didn't watch it, but that is wild. The Arkansas
The score, the final
ran
score does
roughshod over
well,
Ole
I was gonna
Miss.
say, the final score doesn't even do it justice, because Ole Miss scored 21 points in the fourth quarter. Because the final is 42-27, so it's kind of like
It was 42-3, right?
it was 42-6
That was
in the fourth. In
Arkansas.
the
and
fourth
Ole
quarter.
Miss.
Yeah.
Ole Miss got their ass whipped.
Arkansas destroyed them.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, yesterday was back to reality Saturday. I mean, that's
Yeah.
what it was. A lot of things got put in perspective. Ravens just got a pickle. Game's over. Anyway, go ahead.
I said, do you guys have an opinion on the Ohio State Maryland game? Like, I know that Maryland threw a pick 6 in their own end zone to end it, so it ended up being a 13-point game. But the fact that Maryland had a chance to win that game it's lunacy. Like, what the fuck is Ohio State doing?
Yeah, my opinion is this: Maryland sucks and Ohio State's overrated. That's my 2 cents.
Well, yeah, I mean that's true. I just meant more of Maryland was running the ball at will. Like their defense, which is dog shit, was stuffing Ohio State. Like that's a crazy. No one saw that coming. Ohio State was a 30-point favorite.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yesterday really showed that Michigan and Ohio State are both super overrated. That's why I think if they put both of those teams in the playoff, even with all the teams dropping out this year, it would be crazy to me because they don't deserve to be in the playoffs, both of them.
No, I agree. The only way it happens is if Michigan beats Ohio State, because Ohio State does have which is now looking to be like a much better win over Notre Dame. They have Notre Dame and Penn State.
Who do you guys think could make the playoff that would give Georgia the best game? I know all you guys are taking Georgia to win the title. I would always take the field. I would still take the field. Who do you guys think would give Georgia the best game in the national championship?
Are you asking like who we think the second best team is?
Yeah, or just like in terms of matchup. Yeah. Like who do you think it would be? Because and they don't even have to necessarily be in the playoff picture. Just somebody that you think, man, I think Georgia might struggle with this team for whatever reason. Their high-powered offense or their good defense or whatever.
I think it would be Bama. I think Bama, even though they're down for Bama standards, Bryce Young is a nightmare. Like
I agree. I would say Bama.
And talent wise, who else could match up?
Right.
I would say Bama too for those points. Bryce Young is an X factor. Alabama has a talent, and also in the playoffs, I mean, you have Nick Saban. He has time to game plan, to get the coaching together. Because the thing with Alabama this year has been the coaching hasn't been great. But when you have a few weeks to prepare for your opponent, you see a better product out there. So I think Alabama is the team. Before you guys lost yesterday, I always thought that you guys were the second best team. But the game was weird. Like the fact that South Carolina scored that many points on you guys, and
crazy.
Very strange.
It was very, very strange. Believe me, it was surreal sitting through it.
If you would have asked that question Friday, I would have said Tennessee, no doubt in my mind. And I thought when you guys played Georgia, I thought that was the two best teams playing. But
it was weird. I don't want to go back into the whole Tennessee South Carolina game, but I agree it was a strange game. We've never looked at it. Our defense has not played good all year, but our defense was non-existent. I don't know how many passes they completed, and there wasn't a defender on the screen. It was strange. It was strange. I don't know. I mean, I guess you just got to tip your hat to Shane Beamer and what they did in terms of offensive scheme. I just don't know. I mean, definitely our defensive coordinator's got to get fired. I'm not saying that, but it was strange. I agree. It was strange. Anyway, I agree. I think it's Alabama. They have the talent, they have the roster, and they have the coach. So if they could put it together, they could definitely give Georgia a run. Second. I don't know.
It's probably us, even still.
No,
Not
no.
with Milton.
no,
Oh, not with Milton, yeah.
no, not under any circumstance. Fuck that. I can't take us to, no. I can't.
I
put
would
us in
still
the-
say, hold on. If we still had Hooker and he was still healthy, I would still say we're a very solid top 10 team.
After what you saw last night?
100%.
No.
Have you watched Ohio State? Have you watched Michigan? Have you watched these other teams play?
I mean, if you look at the rest of the top 25, is there a team that you think is better than us? Really? Even after last night with how bad our defense looked.
Listen. You cannot get 63 points hung on you by a 6-4 team. And I do think that we're in the top 10, just by virtue of our offense and who's there. But to put us in the conversation of the top tier teams or the playoffs after that, no, I'm done with it.
So,
I'm not saying we're a top tier team. You're asking for matchups for Georgia.
I can't put us in the matchup for Georgia. They beat our ass, and then it happened again against South Carolina. South Carolina duplicated, beat us worse.
Okay, but you wouldn't take Clemson. You wouldn't take LSU. You wouldn't take UCLA. You wouldn't take USC. You wouldn't take North Carolina. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Yep. So I guess I would just have to take Georgia.
You're gonna take Georgia to beat Georgia.
Yeah.
Asshole.
I mean, I guess if I had to pick a second team after Bama, I guess it would probably be nobody. I don't think anybody else. I don't think Ohio State's good.
So
I think
hold,
Ohio State.
Oh,
is a
sorry.
good-
I didn't realize it was a trick question.
so hold on.
Motherfucker.
Because when I asked you Georgia or the field, you said the field. Your only hope is Alabama. So
Yeah, I don't even understand.
are you thinking
Yeah.
that Bama's going to beat Georgia, or are you saying that you're taking Georgia now?
No, I'm saying that I'll always take the field.
Even if it's not the right answer?
I'm just saying I would always take I'm not taking one team. And now if Georgia had beat everybody the way they beat Oregon all year, I would take Georgia. But
Yeah, but-
because they've had some ups and downs, I don't trust them over the field. I'm taking the field.
Yeah, but you can't even name another team in the field. You're like, maybe Bama and no one else. So like the field, there is no field. You're basically saying you're taking Alabama over Georgia.
I know. I don't want to take back my answer, but I feel like I'm gonna have to. Because I think if the playoff is Georgia, Ohio State, Michigan, TCU, Clemson, it's a fucking walk.
Yeah.
It's a walk. There's nobody there.
Here's a question for you right now.
Yeah.
Because of how you said you view Tennessee. If it was a 12-team field,
Yeah,
would Tennessee still be in the playoffs?
of course.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Of course. And we would deserve to be there.
But hold on a second. You just said we were dog shit just a second ago because a 6-4 team just put 60 points on us.
Yeah. Is that it?
So see, how many times are you going to backtrack in this?
I'm not
podcast today?
backtracking. Scott, I just said I would still put us in the top 10 just because of who's in the top 10. I do think that we're better.
I said that and you said no way.
I know I said not top tier, but you have to put us in the top 10 because we're better than.
But I said top 10 and then you said no way.
No, I said not top tier. And then Zach said, we're not talking about top tier. We're talking about top 10. And I said, yes, top 10. We beat LSU. We beat Alabama. We are in the top 10. I said, you can't, I'm not going to put us in the playoff conversation or top tier conversation.
No, not the top 4. I understand that.
Yeah.
I'm saying though, if we went to 12 teams, Tennessee should be in the playoffs as of right now.
We should be in the playoff. And now ask me how far I think we would advance.
Maybe. Well, if Hooker was healthy, and hold on, I'm not talking about with just Milton. If Milton is starting, then
yeah, ask me how far we would go with a healthy Hooker.
Okay. How far will we go?
All the way.
So if we have a healthy Hooker, I like us to get eliminated in the first round.
First base.
Listen, I want to be.
That's some overreaction bullshit. You
No,
know
it might be overreaction.
It is. Come on, man.
Well, let me finish explaining. God damn it!
You can explain, but you're overreacting. It doesn't matter.
Of course I could be overreacting. I'm a fan. But what I'm saying is I don't think we have the depth. I think we're at that point in the season where depth matters. And I think this is where teams, and as much as I fucking hate Ohio State and Michigan and Georgia and Bama, I hate these teams, but they've been recruiting for a fucking decade now. Or Kirby Smart for 7 years. They've been recruiting and getting depth at every position all these years. And I think now it matters. And I think that they do have these good all around teams that if they have a drop off in a game, they have the talent and the depth that it doesn't really kill them the way that it kills us because of our depth, because of our lack of depth and the grind and where we're at in the season. I think we blew our wad. I think we're a good team, but I think we're fatigued. I think we're young in terms of our development as a program. And I don't think that at this point in the season. Now, if you ask me in week 6, I think we probably win the national title. But in week 12, with the wear and tear, with the lack of depth, I don't think we can do much. I don't think we can do much at this point. And I think we showed that last night. I don't know what you guys are arguing about.
I mean, I don't want to get into all hypotheticals, but there's not many teams you would take to beat us right now. That's my point.
It wouldn't have been South Carolina before last night. I'll tell you that fucking much.
But you're talking about, I'm saying, on a neutral field.
Yeah. You're talking about USC. You're talking about whatever.
You guys think last night with the way that, and I'm not shitting on our team. I'm saying I'm happy with the season we've had. I really am. I feel like Heupel's done some really good things, and I'm gonna celebrate that. But if you're asking me realistically after watching that game last night, where I think we're at, I think we're a developmental program right now. What's the overreaction to that? I mean, we did. You really think that going to a neutral field with the way they coached against us last night, that we're gonna win that game? We couldn't cover fucking anything. They couldn't have covered me last night.
But let's not get unreasonable. I think last night was an aberration. I mean, it was a horrendous performance.
Did you say that they couldn't cover you?
Yes.
You cover yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. Is that it?
You ain't getting no catches out there.
I have a catch.
You damn sure ain't throwing nothing.
But you guys understand what I'm saying. I don't think it's.
No, I know what you mean.
But on our team.
I know what you mean, but us against any top 12 team right now, you wouldn't pick against us, even being objective.
I am being objective, and let me tell you why. So when we lost to Georgia, I did not think we would go down in that fashion. They dominated us. I thought it was embarrassing, and I don't care that it was to Georgia. We looked bad. Number 2, when we came back against UT Martin, we bounced back and we blew them out. But I'll tell you what, early in that game, we didn't look good. They were moving the ball. I think that there have been some red flag concerns all season. Again, and I said this earlier, that we've been able to mask through key turnovers, high-powered offense. We've been able to mask some of these issues. And I think now they're exposed. And so, look, it's my take. I don't think I'm overreacting, and I'm not shitting on our team. I like our team. But I'm just saying, I think at this point, we're a developmental program. I think we reached our ceiling with what we have. And I think Heupel did a phenomenal job to get to the ceiling that he made for us this year. I think it was a phenomenal season. But I do think we hit our ceiling.
Yeah, but
that's all I'm saying.
But that being said, the top 12 teams, if you're playing them, do you think your team can win?
I would hope so. But man, listen, what I saw last night, I can't, and maybe I am overreacting. It was pathetic.
It's a bit of an overreaction. Like there's games like that where you go into a hostile environment and your team
And
just
everything goes wrong.
exactly.
I mean, even their deep passes that they completed, we tipped. Like, you can't account for that shit.
Well, and we also got a touchdown that they tipped. I'm not getting into all that.
I know.
Somebody pull up the top 20, the top 12, and let's see who we would play.
The new AP people.
Oh yeah, so let's do it from the AP. We probably jumped to number 12. I mean, we probably dropped to number 12.
We're 9 and 11.
The top
9 in the AP.
Do the
what?
We're 9 in the AP.
Do the top 13 teams, not the top 12.
Why the top 13?
Who's 13, Scott?
Is it you?
It
You're
is
not in
Notre
it.
Dame. Yeah, he's
You
not.
didn't make the cut.
Top 13.
All right, right now, is Georgia It's Georgia, Ohio State, Michigan, TCU, USC,
Well, wait a minute,
LSU.
hold on. Not, so we're 9, so 12 would play 5, 11, 6, 10, 7, 9, 8. So who would we
Bama.
Oh
play?
shit, we played Bama. We're
Bama.
done.
Okay,
First
we're out,
round exit.
we're out first round, just like I said.
Okay, but look at the other teams. It's Washington, Oregon, Clemson, LSU, USC, outside the top 4. You would not take any of those teams against us.
We would play LSU if we use the coaches poll because we're number 11 in a minute. We would play LSU again.
Coach's poll sucks.
I know. I'm just saying the college football play is going to fall in between there.
Don't even mention the coach's poll on here.
All right, so listen,
Notre Dame's 15.
let's go through the top 12, and let's say we play next Saturday with Hooker. All right, we got
Okay.
with a healthy Hooker.
Okay.
Then
12 is Washington.
I think
Win.
I think we beat them.
Penn State,
Win.
Oregon, taking us.
Go Dicks.
It's a shootout. I think with Oregon,
Yeah.
it's a shootout.
Yeah, it's a shootout where we whip their ass. Bama.
Coin toss. I'm gonna go coin toss. Bama,
Right now they beat us. Yeah.
Bama lose,
Clemson,
Win.
beat them.
we whip their fucking ass. LSU, we beat their ass.
Yeah.
USC, we beat their ass.
We
I
would
think
beat
we
USC.
I think USC is very overrated. I will say that.
And then it's the top 4: TCU, Michigan, Ohio State, Georgia,
Okay, I think we beat TCU too. And Ohio
and,
State.
and Ohio State, Michigan. Exactly,
No,
motherfucker.
see, that was-
So one team. It's his field. He took the field.
Yeah, he's taking Bama and Georgia over us.
Going on a limb on that one. Never would have called
All right, whatever. I don't give a fuck. So I lied. I don't care.
that.
Destroying our credibility.
I don't have any fucking credibility. Oh my gosh.
You say something totally fucking out of line and bizarre, and we have to go talk in circles to get you to realize that you're a fucking idiot.
I don't.
It's not what you think.
Hey man, that game had my head spinning. What do you want me to say? I admitted that I might be overreacting. I admitted it.
Yeah, but then you like stared into the camera and gave like Zach this. He's like, "Let me tell you why," and he gave him,
he went full Stephen A.
yeah.
Oh, that video of Stephen A. boxing was fucking that shit was pathetic. That shit was pathetic.
God,
Hey,
that's
listen,
it.
let, me, let me ask you this: Baker Mayfield or Stephen A?
Baker. Did you guys see Baker headbutting the offensive lineman with no helmet?
I said that shit to you guys.
Yeah, as soon as I seen that, I was like, "Fucking Anthony called it. This dude is crazy." Even the
I
offensive
told you.
linemen were like, "What are you doing?" Like,
All right, let me ask you this.
I
then.
love the commentator being like, "Well, that's one way to get concussed when you don't play."
right?
He's a total dumbass, but the Ravens played Baker and the Panthers. So Justin Tucker versus Stephen A.
No one's taking Justin Tucker.
I'm taking
Yeah.
Tucker. I think he kicks his fucking head off.
He would Justin Tucker would win a Rofo fry eating contest. I think Stephen A might fuck him up.
No way.
I don't know. I
Have you
saw
guys
some
ever seen
video.
Justin Tucker
Who sent
interviewed?
the video?
I did.
That video's
Yeah.
old. That's an old video. He actually, so he was making fun of him because he was punching so low.
Yeah.
But he said the reason why he was doing that was because he had a shoulder injury. He's full of shit.
Bullshit.
He's full of shit. He's a
Bullshit.
bitch. Justin Tucker would fuck him up.
You think Justin Tucker would try to kick him?
Kick his
He
head
would
off.
have to.
Clean off his head.
He would kick his balls up into his throat.
That shit would be good from 60.
Oh, all right. Last one. Baker. They play Ravens played the Panthers, so Baker versus Lamar.
Lamar.
I'm taking Lamar.
I saw the video with the cops. It's definitely Lamar on this one. With Baker and the cops. That cop spearheaded him.
I didn't see that video.
You don't
Yeah.
remember that from Oklahoma?
His
No.
drop tried to run, And the cop
He tried to run, and the cop ran to tackle him.
that was college Baker though. He's different now.
Yeah, he's slower.
I was gonna say he's slower, he's fatter. So what do you want me to say?
He's crazy though. He's not running. He's fighting.
He is crazy. He is crazy. I think Lamar would box his head off.
Lamar would kill him.
Yeah, Lamar is a freak athlete.
Yeah.
Baker's only advantage ever is that he's a lunatic. So
That's it.
That only goes so far.
It only go so far. Lunatics can get their ass whipped too.
Oh, but Lamar might be like, this motherfucker's crazy and just head out.
Yeah. I don't even think they would fight because Lamar would be like, I'm not fighting you unless you give me 300 million.
Yeah.
Pay-per-view. Anyway, filleters. Who's got their filleters ready? We already
Mine's
got
ready.
ours from Scott. Scott gave the defensive coordinator.
Well, there was two of them. There's two of them. It's Tim Banks. Obviously, I'm done with them. The other one is the offensive coordinators or coaches for Illinois and Baylor.
You
Any
just stole
coach-
mine.
I was gonna say any coach that plays not to lose. When you have the ball and it's under 2 minutes, and all you have to do is get one single first down, and you just run it for a yard up the middle 3 times in a row, that it's the biggest Butch Jones move you can make.
All right.
God.
Jamie, you got one?
I didn't watch too much yesterday, but from what I did see, I would just have to say TCU's coach. Just if it was the head coach or the offensive coordinator running the ball and rushing the team out to kick the game-winning field goal, just doesn't make sense to me. So he gets it.
He gets.
I got
the D.
two. I want to give two filleters. My first fillater is to the officiating in the college football. They got to get it cleaned up. There was so much bad officiating yesterday. It's an insult to the game that they can't get better officiating. It's a $1 billion industry. And I don't understand why the officiating is so poor. There needs to be accountability to that. So that's the first thing. My second one is not only the bird, but anybody who waved a towel and cheered while they unveiled the stupid ass bird in the cage at the South Carolina game. That's the dumbest intro in college fucking football, other than Clemson's Howard Lee Rock and running down the hill.
I actually think that they should get rid of all like live mascots, even like the dogs and shit. I don't like any of that.
That
Well,
dog gets better treatment than I'll ever get from any human being.
That's true, but I still don't like it. Like the fucking dog is like Uga. He's in his fucking doghouse with AC, and you can tell he just doesn't want to be there. Like I think it's weird, and then it's a loud environment. Like the dog clearly doesn't want to be there. Smokey does better, I guess, but Uga, I guess it's because he's a bulldog and he's fat and lazy.
Yeah, so he's in a doghouse with AC.
You're just saying that because you guys have a fucking drunk Irish guy.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah. Are you shipping his ass back to Ireland if we get rid of the live mascots?
I mean, like the animals. Like he's a person. So you do know that the mascots, there's a person inside that suit, right?
Right. So I was talking about the South Carolina thing in the cage, the bird in the cage. That was a human being in there.
I didn't realize this was the philosophy podcast.
I was talking about the bird in the box thing, the whatever it was, bird cage thing, whatever this bullshit was.
I don't know about tigers though. How do you feel about tigers being out on the field?
I don't like any of it.
The Tigers, I do take exception to.
I take exception to it only because of the risk factor.
I mean, there was a game this season that had to be delayed because the horse shit on the field. Like, when enough is enough.
Sounds like a Florida State problem.
They had some guy picking up horse shit with a cup. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, that was SMU, right?
SMU Mustangs.
Do you guys remember when the Longhorn got loose? It was running all over the field, and they were trying to wrangle it.
I remember when it almost killed Uga. You don't remember when they played in the bowl game a few years ago? It was Georgia, Texas, and they brought Bevo, the Longhorn out there near Uga.
Wait,
the
wait,
Longhorn
wait, wait.
truck-
The Longhorn's name is Bevo.
Yeah,
Bevo.
Viva, whatever.
They should lose it just for that.
I was gonna say it's some stupid ass name, but anyway, it charged Uga, and then if you watch it, they yanked Uga by the leash and just pulled him straight up in the air away from it. I don't understand that. They should have never had those mascots near each other.
Zach, when you said that the steer or whatever was going wild on the field, it reminded me. I don't know if you guys seen the video where the medical cart
Yeah.
going out of control and the
where the guy falls off of it and the,
Yeah,
and the
that's-
car's
that's-
just driving itself.
That's the Dallas Cowboys.
yeah, the dude's in the passenger seat and he's like, it's just going. Instead of just hitting the brake, he like rolls off of it. So it keeps
No. So he wasn't in the passenger seat. If you ever look at it, he gets hit by the cart because it's running by itself, and he gets stuck up in the passenger seat. But he wasn't in it. He was just on top.
Yeah, but I mean, hit the
And
brake.
instead of just getting in there, he just slowly falls over.
No, and he
I've
did
never seen this video.
like
Oh my god!
It's a Dallas Cowboys. It's a Dallas Cowboys video.
you could tell he's like, I'm jumping off this bitch. It isn't like
That's what I'm saying. He's slowly he's like, all right, we're doing it. I'm not staying on this. I'm bailing.
and it's like just hit the brake.
All you have to do is get in it, because then you see one guy run up next to it when he finally stops it.
Yeah,
He runs up to it and sits in it and stops it.
All right, let's do our picks for next week. Zach, you got them?
Yeah. I sent the video to the chat if you want to watch it.
I'll watch it after we're done. What was the did I fill my picks in, or can you fill them in while we're doing this?
I can film it while we're doing it.
All right, let's go with first game. Let's go me, Jamie, Scott, and then you, Zach.
Okay.
Since you-
All right. So it's Baylor at Texas.
Baylor.
Texas.
Texas.
I got Baylor also.
All right, me and you are the only ones on Baylor.
Well, it's
Who's
half
next?
of us.
Hey, make sure your picks are in before the games are played. You're not going to have a crazy comeback.
That would be a crazy comeback since we're only doing 10 games and I think I'm behind like 30.
Yeah,
That'd be amazing.
you're behind 18.
Yeah.
All right. So next is UNC NC State.
UNC. That's easy.
North Carolina.
I got North Carolina too, but they both
It's
lost
close.
crazy games yesterday. So
Yeah, I think North Carolina. Is it at NC State or at North Carolina?
it looks like it's at North Carolina based
Yeah,
on the
North Carolina.
spreadsheet.
They're like 15 minutes apart. Who cares?
Well, yeah, and there's like 10 fans between them. So
Yeah, I was gonna
Yeah.
say.
Exactly.
the Floridas.
Give me the Gators.
Florida State.
I got Florida also. Damn, we're 50-50 again, huh?
Scott, you took Florida State?
Yeah.
You can't take the ACC, man. Come on.
You can't pick a team that just lost to Vandy.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's my point. It's I don't know, man. It's a pickup.
all right. That's fair enough. Who's next?
Yeah,
State beat
that's a crab leg bowl. It's the Civil War.
Civil War. Give me the Beavers.
At home?
Yes, apparently it's in Oregon State. I don't know.
Yeah, it's at Oregon State. I'm gonna go put some money on this game too.
I'm taking Oregon.
I got
Oregon.
Oregon also.
You guys
Scott,
wanna
you,
bet money?
Scott, you say you got
Oregon.
Oregon?
Oregon.
Oh, you guys took Oregon.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Next.
Do you want to try to justify your beaver? Or?
Zach,
I already told you, they don't fuck around at home. Hey, just like Keyshawn said, Corvallis is a hard place to play for any team.
what's their home record, Zach? Can you look that up? Because Anthony's been talking about their home field advantage all season.
Yeah,
They're
I'll
all
pull it up
just
right
like,
now. I'll pull it up right now.
I haven't checked it recently. They've only lost one game in like 2 years there last time I looked.
That's
Yeah,
right.
it was this year to USC.
Yeah.
That's it. And that was by a field goal.
By a field goal.
All right. We
Yeah,
got
they got stopped at Utah.
we got Tennessee and Vandy. I assume everyone's taking Tennessee despite the
I'll
performance.
take Tennessee, but I ain't taking them by the fucking spread. If we're two
They
touchdown
making a
favorites,
shot. No, I think we squeaked by them.
So let me tell you why I'm taking Tennessee. I don't think we're gonna beat the spread, and I'm gonna tell you why, because I don't think Hooker's gonna come back this season. If he's cleared, I think he's gonna start prepping for the NFL.
Mhm.
And I think we're gonna have some seniors that start to sit out. I wouldn't be surprised if Hyatt sits, Flowers, several of these, Tillman. I don't think Tillman's gonna play anymore. He's having too many issues with his ankle. I think these
He
guys.
almost got hurt again last night, so
Yep,
I
yep.
think he's done.
Yep. So that's why I think that this Vandy game is not a given. And I wouldn't be surprised at all if we have 5, 6 seniors that say, yeah, I'm done. I'm not going to risk my future for a bowl game. So I think we're going to see in the news that there's going to be several players that say they're done. And I don't have any faith in Joe Milton. So I think we'll beat Vandy because they suck, but I don't think it'll be pretty. And then depending what our bowl game is, could be pretty ugly as well. So that's my thought. And that's why I think at this point, that's why I'm keep saying that I think our season is done. I'm not reacting to the loss. I'm reacting to where I think things are going to go for the next couple of weeks. I think from starting today, Josh Heupel is going to have to do everything to prepare for next year. Start getting Ramel Keaton and these other receivers and the other players, start getting everybody ready, because your seniors are probably going to pack it in for real to get ready. So I think that we're building for next year now.
So after hearing that, your guys' quarterback situation for next year is Joe Milton and the 5-star freshman.
5-star.
Mhm.
So you're saying just roll the 5-star out there and let them learn.
Absolutely. Fuck yeah.
I don't.
Milton looked so bad last night. He looked terrible. He looked just like he did when he started last year. He's not accurate. We had wide open receivers in the end zone. He just has no accuracy. He has no accuracy.
And
I don't mind the new guy coming in as long as I just don't want to ruin his growth and like put him in a bad situation. Like if the team doesn't look good, because I think we're going to take a step back next year. What I mean by that is if we don't have the offensive line to protect them, there's no reason to have him thrown out there and just get his head knocked off like we did with Garantano for 4 years.
Garantano's a turd. And he got stepped on like a turd.
Yeah, well,
What the fuck did I just come back into?
No, we were talking about the starting quarterback situation next year.
What about it?
I was
Jamie
saying
said,
go ahead.
Jamie's question was, should we start Milton or roll with the 5-star next year? I said roll with the 5-star. Milton looks too bad.
We're gonna start with Milton. Milton's fine.
You guys turned the game off last night, right? So you didn't see Milton throw?
I don't care, but that whole game was a disaster. I'm basing it on the fact that he's like 25 and he was the starter last season.
Yeah, who sucked?
That's what I was gonna say. Is like I think you're being like Milton's not showed us anything that says he can be a good quarterback, but he was thrown into the game last night. That was a total train wreck. Like with a whole off season with him preparing to be the starter, he might be a better option than throwing a true freshman out there. And then some of the same reasons, like Scott was saying, you don't want to ruin your guys' the quarterback's confidence or even get them injured or things like that. But
and physically, Milton is top tier. So if he does put it together,
he's a freak.
His potential is limitless.
His potential is limitless, but you can't. I mean, at some point, your potential has to become a reality. Milton's going to be in his 3rd year next year, and he's at the end of his 2nd year this year with us. He started with Michigan, who also benched him. So this is not a new issue. This is a pattern with Milton. The play that I'm thinking about last night, he overthrew a person in the end zone, the receiver in the end zone, and it wasn't close. The guy was wide open, and it wasn't fucking close. The only ball that seems like he can complete is the one where he can just load up and throw it as far as he can, 60, 70 yards, let the receiver run under it. If he's not throwing Hail Marys, he's in trouble.
I'm not putting any stock in last night's game, so we'll see. But
okay.
And also, I think the system for college it takes time to learn. So I just don't think a freshman is going to come in and command the offense, right away.
I think we're all agreeing that next year's a step back year. I think we all agree with that. So let's all learn together here. Let's get the right guys in place and let them start learning. That's what I'm saying. If his confidence can be ruined from losing, we should have recruited him.
I agree with that completely.
We need a baller.
No, I was saying if our offensive line takes a step back, because I'm pretty sure we have 2 or 3 seniors on there. at least 2, and I think 3. And obviously here
Yeah.
towards the end of the year, the offensive line has kind of started to struggle.
Hypo will hit the transfer portal. I mean, we'll get some.
That's what I said. If he fills in those positions with this obvious transfer portal and the NIL, then yeah, I actually don't have a problem starting Nico first thing next year. I just don't want us to have a shitty offensive line, and he's out there running around like Bryce Young is this year. I don't know if you watch Bama, but their offensive line is dog shit, and they have 5 stars.
Yeah.
Bryce Young every game is running around. The good thing about Bryce Young is he's a senior and he's obviously a Heisman candidate. He's a Heisman winner.
Yeah.
So he can make those plays. I don't know our freshmen will be able to just come out there and do that immediately.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, it's either he's ready or he's not. If you think he's the best guy, put him in.
Go do it. Exactly. I agree with that 100%.
So
no
I'm
reason to
just
wait.
saying I don't think he'll be the best guy when he just shows up to campus. That's what I'm
Well,
saying. So we'll
all
see.
right. We'll find out. Next game.
All right, we got the Trojans and the Irish. I
That's a
guess
good
the only mascots allowed are condoms for Jamie.
All right, give me Notre Dame.
Go Irish.
Go
Scott? Is it a sweep, Zach?
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
let's
I
go.
think Notre Dame's gonna. I think Notre Dame's defensive line is gonna crush USC's offensive line.
Okay.
USC has not been impressive to me. So
I don't really take stock in that Navy game because Notre Dame came out and just crushed him, and then I think you guys just kind of put it on cruise control. The Notre when Navy came storming back or whatever. I'm not, and especially with that type of team, with how their offense is, I didn't put any stock in that. You guys crushed them in the last 2 weeks. You've looked a hell of a lot better, like more of a complete team.
Yeah, I think that our offensive line and our running game is just going to dominate USC. Their defense is super weak.
that's what I think too. I think you guys are gonna be too physical for them.
Yeah, as long as our defense can kind of contain them and not let them have a bunch of explosive plays, I think that's a game that we can win, no problem.
And also, this is just a random aside. The commentators for the Utah Oregon game were talking about how physical Utah's offense was and how they dominated Oregon physically. And I was just like what fucking world are we in that we're talking about dominant trenches in the Pac-10 or Pac-12?
After that game I watched the other night, like last night, UCLA USC was not anything for the trenches. Let's just put it that way.
I mean, it's flag football. Like
That's what I'm saying. They were just lighting each other up.
Yeah.
I just want to throw that out there because I thought it was funny that a commentator would be dumb enough to say that.
Who's
So
next?
we got the Iron Bowl.
Oh, Bama. Easy.
Bama.
Bama.
Yeah, I think this will actually be the ugliest Iron Bowl in a while. Because even as bad as Auburn's been, like last year, they could have won it.
This game's gonna be a fucking blowout.
Yeah,
100%. It's in Tuscaloosa, if I remember correctly.
it looks like
Auburn's-
it. Yeah,
Auburn sucks.
yeah. Auburn is so dysfunctional.
They don't
and I
have a
think-
head coach.
Didn't they struggle yesterday with some bullshit team?
Yep, they
Yes.
won by 2.
They won by two.
They won by 2
No.
against Western Kentucky, knocked me out of my fucking parlay.
Hold on, they won by 2. It's 41-17 was the final.
It was?
Yeah, 41-17.
Oh, wait a minute. Who won by 2 that knocked me out of my parlay?
That was
Maybe-
Texas
maybe
A&M. It was
A&M.
Texas A&M, I believe, over UMass.
All right, let's keep
So that was
going.
20-3.
Texas A&M beat UMass by 2 points.
No, it was so the game was 10-7 or 13-3 all the way to the fourth quarter. A&M scored a touchdown very late to make it 20-3. UMass is 1-10, by the way.
We should have like
Yeah.
a ticker. We should have an update every week on Jimbo Fisher's buyout.
It's still $95 million.
Does it go by year? Because I seen that it was like in the 80s. Like
Yeah,
80
it's a 80. It's an 84 million right
Oh,
now.
maybe because he made it to the certain game this year and it dropped.
Shit. I went 2 for 4 my fucking parlay. I lost the Ole Miss game. I took Ole Miss to -2.5 and Arkansas blew the doors off of them. And I took UCLA plus 2.5 and they lost by a field goal. Anyway, who's next? Let's go. Next game.
We got the Sunshine Battle, or whatever the fuck it's called.
What is it?
The Kansases.
I'll take Kansas State.
Yeah, Kansas State.
Kansas State.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
think
know
you
what- I
gotta
don't know
go
what the-
K State.
What's
Kansas
the
is
Sunshine Battle? I've never heard that before. Did you
Or-
just make that up?
no. I was making fun of it like 2 weeks ago. I think it's called the Sunflower Battle, actually.
Uh,
That probably is.
I've never heard of that either. What's next?
But I was just gonna say Kansas started off like ranked and shit after being 4-0 or 5-0, and the wheels have just come off completely. Like they've been dog shit.
I don't think anyone thought that they were any good, but they also had their quarterback. He got injured, and he was actually
Yeah,
decent.
he went down. Yeah, he went down for the year with a shoulder injury.
Yeah, I think it was just an underdog story. But all right, we got the.
Yeah.
Sorry, what?
No, go ahead.
We got the Ohio State Michigan game.
This is a tough one. I'm that Zach. I think I'm gonna go with you on this. I'm gonna go with Michigan.
Well, you can't take them both to lose, right? 'Cause
Wait a minute. I want to take Michigan if Corum is healthy. If he's not healthy, I'm gonna take Ohio State.
You want him to
Okay.
write the sheet, or do you want him to just? I mean, you got to pick a team.
you can have your asterisk, but whatever.
My asterisk.
Your
take-
asterisk.
My asterisk. I'll take. Give me Michigan. Give me Michigan. We got a week. Huh?
You timestamp that
Asterisk.
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 I didn't realize we had fucking gigolos on here.
We got hookers all night, and asterisk.
I only referenced healthy hookers. I got Michigan.
with
All
it.
right.
I got Ohio.
Steve?
Ohio State for sure.
I got Michigan too. I think Ohio State is just so overrated, and their offense is such dog shit that Michigan is just gonna slowly run the ball to a 6-3 victory.
Yeah, I
I'm
actually
telling
think
you.
Ohio State's gonna win.
Corum, if Corum doesn't play, you're gonna see it's gonna be a blowout.
I don't think
it's gonna
Ohio
be a
State
blowout.
is capable of blowing anybody out.
I agree. I don't think either team is capable of blowing anybody out. Anybody real. Indiana, maybe. Rutgers, not an actual team. Who
Well,
else?
they
is
all
left?
struggle. They still struggle with those teams.
What about
Yeah.
Maryland?
They're studs.
Fear the turtle, baby.
Yeah, Maryland's legit.
Frost
They
Eagle-
had there must have been at least like I think there was probably how many fans does Maryland Stadium hold? Like 14,000?
55,000.
How many?
55,000.
55,000? I thought it was like 1,500. All right, so 55,000.
That's the
And so
attendance. That's the attendance
Yeah.
capacity.
yeah, no, that was the capacity, right?
Capacity is 55,000.
Yeah, so they probably had what 30,000 at the game.
I would say 20. That shit was empty.
Well, let's say 30. Let's give them benefit of the doubt. 30. 20,000 of that 30 was Ohio State fans. There weren't that many Maryland fans there, and there were some Michigan fans there too. When they showed one section, they showed it was all Ohio State people, and then some Michigan people waving their fucking thing around. There wasn't a Terp fan on the screen.
Did they stop doing their hot dog special for tickets?
I thought they did. The
I
deal
told
was
you
buy a hot
guys-
dog, buy a hot dog, get a ticket, right?
There must be a hot dog shortage.
I told you guys when I was a grad student there, the Maryland Michigan State game for 50-yard line second row was $6.
Yeah. Yesterday, I thought about going to the game yesterday just to get out of the house and take a break. And then before I could watch the Tennessee game, I should have just fucking skipped the Tennessee game. But the tickets were like $80 for a 50-yard line lower level. And Ohio State's number 2 team in the country. It's bad. And the Maryland fans don't even go. They don't even go. It's whatever. I don't know.
You know, I showed the Tennessee fans earlier, so I'll go ahead and say this. When I was at grad school there and Ohio State played at Maryland, Ohio State's fans were the biggest fucking douchebags I've ever met. every single one of them was a complete fucking asshole.
Yeah,
They called me a hillbilly for wearing orange. Like they were just total pieces of shit. And they were spelling out Buckeye in the bar. Go fuck yourself.
Oh, that's no big deal. We sing Rocky Top in the bars, but look, I've conceded that all fan bases are assholes. I'm done with it.
That's fine. They're the biggest
done with
ones.
Well, they might be the biggest ones, but the Tennessee better get their shit together, man. Throw in shit and pouring sodas on people and acting like dickheads. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. So anyway, is that all of our picks? Any more games?
One more is Kentucky Louisville.
Good. I'm glad it's
All right.
Kentucky because I have something to bring up about this.
I
Go
will
ahead.
take Louisville.
I'm taking Louisville too.
I think Kentucky wins.
I got Kentucky also. I don't have a reason for it. I think Louisville just sucks.
No, I think they're just going to run the football because Will Levis sucks, and it's been clear in the past 4 games he can't throw.
Hey, he's a top 5 pick, all right?
Well, that top 5 pick's going to be pretty good at running handing the football off. But what I wanted to bring up is that I know you guys have heard about Stoops having, all the fans wanting. I think they're starting to want him gone.
Yeah.
What they did not know, and it just came out today, that he had signed an extension the day before the Vanderbilt loss, increasing his buyout by $3 million. So if they had fired him this year, it went from 1.5 million to 4.5 million. And he had just signed it the day before.
They better use that fucking basketball money.
Yeah.
Shit's bizarre with these contracts, man, are out of control. I do got one more for later. Has everybody done their picks? Are we all good?
I mean, there's a couple other games I want to mention, but you can go ahead and fillet if you want.
Yeah, but it's my last one. My last for later is the World Cup host, Qatar. So they took $100 million check from Anheuser-Busch to let them be the main beer distributor at the games, deposited the check, and then banned alcohol sales at the games. So they're going to my top of the fillator list. Don't be fucking with Budweiser, man. I can't be tolerating that shit. All right. So last games you wanted to bring up. We got to make it quick because I'm low on battery.
All right. Well, I did want to bring up the Egg Bowl.
I thought I put the Egg Bowl on there. I didn't put it on there.
No.
I'll take Ole Miss to bounce back from the Arkansas beatdown. The Egg Bowl is a big deal to these teams, so I'll take Ole Miss.
It is.
Are we picking this game or just you want to talk about it?
I just wanted to talk about it. I don't care if we pick or not.
Oh, well, what do you want to talk about?
The Pirates going to go all in. I've got the Bulldogs. They're going to beat that ass.
You like Mississippi State?
Yep.
Really?
I'll take Mississippi State too. They got T-Rexes up there.
They got T-Rexes and a Pirate coaching them. God damn, they're gonna beat that ass.
What do you think about Mike Leach's speech when he was talking about the players' fat little girlfriends?
What?
I didn't hear that one.
You didn't hear that?
No.
They want that the players want to sit behind a tree and eat lunch with their fat little girlfriend.
I can't believe you guys didn't hear that.
Oh man,
He's crazy.
We were this close to having that as our coach.
That would have been so bad.
Mike Leach is one of those guys that I think he's a complete psycho, but I like him.
He's not like an unlikable guy. That's what
I'm glad he's not our coach. Let me be clear.
I agree with that.
He's too fucking weird, man. He's too weird.
But he's funny weird.
Yeah, it's somebody else's funny weird. He's like like when you meet somebody else's crazy uncle, you're like, oh yeah, they're funny. Let's fucking go home, get the hell out of here. Like as long as you got a place to get away from them, you're good with it.
Did you see his shit at halftime with the refs? I think it was last week.
No.
Where he's like, well, they made some calls, like complete being a dick about the officiating the game.
Well, they said, what did you think about the officiating? He said, I don't know. You watched the game. What'd you think?
Yeah.
He said they made some good calls. They made some bad calls. They made some calls. Yeah, it's bad. What other games you got there?
Well, I don't know if you guys care or not, but Tulane Cincinnati is a top 25 matchup.
Don't give a fuck.
I don't really give a shit either. Baylor, Texas, we picked. Let's see. Carolinas, the Floridas. I assume everybody's picking UCLA in the UCLA California game.
Don't care.
Which game?
UCLA Cal.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. No, I don't care. About that.
Cal sucks.
Anyone think Georgia Tech's going to upset Georgia?
Next.
Battle of the Virginias.
Next.
Maryland Rutgers. That's a big
Next.
one.
Shit.
Why are we going?
Oh, sorry. It's at Maryland. Tickets as low as $5.
Why are we going through these games with purchase of a hot dog or without?
Hot dog is more than a ticket.
No, it's not tickets for $5. It's we'll pay you $5 to come to the game. Right?
Yeah,
Did you read
there's
that?
no other good ones. I scrolled through. There's not shit.
All right. Who do you guys think? Give me one name. Who you think's gonna win the Heisman?
What about Washington State?
Oh, that's a good one. What's that? The Apple Bowl?
Washington.
It's at Wazoo.
Give me Washington.
Yeah, I think Washington. Washington State, now that they don't have Garen Tuttle leading it, they're probably doing all right. But
I'll take Washington State. Fuck it.
Yeah. All right. You're the only one.
it'll be a pretty good matchup. They're 8-4.
And
No,
why
7-4.
is Texas Tech Oklahoma on rivalry weekend?
Because Oklahoma State already played.
They
That's
played this
weird.
past week? I was looking. Washington State. They lost. They lost at Oregon State, which is always tough to play. They lost at USC, and they lost to USC 30-14. They lost to Oregon only by 3. I think Washington. I take that back. I think I'm picking Washington State.
All
It's
right.
at Washington State. I'm picking them.
All right. Let's wrap it up. Give me one name for the Heisman, and then we'll finish up there. Zach Heisman. Who wins it?
Who do I think should win it, or who's going?
No. Who do you think will win it?
Probably Stroud, even though he doesn't fucking deserve it.
Scott?
Since if Ohio State stays undefeated, Stroud's winning it. It's his to lose.
Yep.
James?
If Ohio State beats Michigan, Stroud's a lot.
All right. I will take, I ain't fucking picking. If I had to
I
stay.
don't
out
even know
loud-
who the outside of Hooker and Stroud. Who are the other ones? Bryce Young and who else?
There's the
North Carolina's
UNC
just
quarterback.
lost. They just
Yeah.
lost
Right?
to Georgia
they
Tech.
just lost. So
It's Stroud. Everybody else has kind of has gone away.
Well,
There's
yeah,
literally-
and the Michigan running back blew his knee out. So
Yeah. I mean, there's literally everybody who was in contention literally got hurt yesterday or shit the bed. So it's over. All right, fellas, that is a wrap. We will get back together for the playoff review later on this week. See ya.
See it.